This is the first lesson of the video course on SPSS. The first part of this video course is a rather theoretical thing, so which doesn't really need SPSS. First of all, we'll see an overview of what is a statistical test. This part is not necessary for the exam. It will not be explicitly asked during the exam, but it's important for those people who want to understand something of the SPSS part. For the others, the ones who just need to pass the exam, this part can be entirely omitted. However, I think that understanding a subject makes learning it easier. So let's see a brief. While I give for granted a lot of things concerning statistics, for example, all the basic descriptive statistics, I imagine that many students have never seen statistical test. So here we have a very brief and quick example of a statistical test. We suppose we want to study the age of internet users. Well, it's clearly impossible to get all internet users, so we take a sample of 100 people. We have our hypothesis, which is called the typical H0 hypothesis or null hypothesis, which says that the expected value of the distribution of the age is 35. For those who have no experience in statistics, expected value, imagine, is the average. So the average is 35 years. We have an alternative hypothesis, which says that the average is not 35. We are interested in investigating whether the average on the population, the expected value, is 35 or not. The only information we have, however, is on a sample of 100 users, so we don't have information on the entire population. This is the sample we get, so 100 numbers. The first thing that everybody would do is calculating the average. The average, however, on the sample, not on the population. Calculating the average of these numbers, so here we write the hypothesis, expected value is 35, is not 35. We calculate the average of the sample, and the result is 36.2. You should note that the average on a sample is an estimate for the expected value on the population. Now, however, we compare the 36.2 we obtain on the sample with the 35 that we have hypothesized on the population. There is a difference of plus 1.2. This difference may be due to two different factors. The first factor is that our sample has been chosen unluckily. So we have been unlucky in the sample choice, and so it doesn't reflect exactly the population, or we have chosen a too small sample, so it doesn't reflect precisely the population, and thus there is a difference of 1.2. The second reason may be due to the fact that the hypothesis H0 is wrong. So our sample is good, and the expected value of the age on the population is not 35. So this difference of plus 1.2 may be due to a bad choice of the sample, to an unlucky choice of the sample, or to the fact that H0 is false. We must at this point ask ourselves, is 1.2 large enough to say, okay, it may not be an unlucky choice of the sample, it's really like this, the expected value is not 35, or is 1.2 rather small, especially compared with 35, and we say, okay, it could be that the expected value is 35. Okay, this is the core question of every statistical test. The core question is whether what we get on the sample, usually, let's say, 99.99% of the times, is not what you have hypothesized. The core question is what you get on the sample is different from what you have hypothesized due to an unlucky choice or due to small variation of the samples, or is it different because the hypothesis was wrong? Okay, so if we decide that 1.2 is large, the expected value is not 35, and thus H0 is rejected. If we decide that it's small, it can be caused by a random fluctuation in the sample choice, and therefore H0 must be accepted. Okay. The statistical test answers to this question. Its answer to this question is the significance. Significance is a percentage. Okay. I do not want to enter into the technical details of what exactly is significance. There are two very precise definitions in statistics, and we will not go through them. What is important for understanding this course is that significance lets you decide whether the 1.2 difference was small or large, so whether you should accept or reject. Okay? If significance is large, you accept H0. Okay? It implies that it could be true. Pay attention that in a statistical test you never say it must be true. You say it could be true. If significance is small, on the other hand, you reject H0. In this case, you can say that you are almost sure, so it's a very strong decision, that H0 is false. So significance is a tool, a numerical tool, which lets us decide. Typically, in this example, for example, the significance was 16%. Typically, you take 5% as a limit, and if significance is below 5%, you reject. So you say that H0 is false. If significance is above 5%, you accept. So you say that H0 could be true. Okay, this is an overview of what is a statistical test. It's not full, it's not complete. If you are interested in this subject, you should follow a statistical course or look in some appropriate statistical books. Is the minimum you need to understand what are the statistical tests we will talk during the course, and what is that number significance which will appear at the end of every test. So significance is a tool which will let you decide whether accepting or rejecting the hypothesis. Okay. Now we switch to how to organize data inside SPSS. If you are not following the lessons, but you are following only the video course, I suggest you at this point to download this file here. Where is it? The questionnaire. This file here. And do it. It's not important that you answer correctly. You just think at every question, think at all the possible answers, and give an answer. Okay, after you have done it, you can retake the video and go on. For everybody who has already answered these questions, this questionnaire, let's go through it. First of all, the first question was the town of birth. Well, this is an open answer question. Let's see if I have the slide. An open answer question. Okay. It means that the user is entirely free to write anything. It's the typical question which is worthless, useless in statistics. The user will type whatever he likes. Using the data as textual data is almost worthless in statistics, because you cannot perform anything numerical, but you can also not perform anything categorical. So, if you are planning to do a statistical research, please avoid open answers completely. Okay. If you have an open answer like this one, prepare yourself for recoding it. You can, for example, decide that whoever answers Bolzano, you will recode it with number 1. Whoever answers Merano, you will recode it with number 2. Whoever answers Bressanone, you will recode it with number 3. Okay. So prepare yourself to recode the answers given numerical code. Clearly, while assigning numerical code, you must pay special care, because somebody may have written Bozen. Bozen is not 4, Bozen is 1 again. So some same words may go into, different words may go into the same category, obviously. Okay? And so on. Be prepared also for the people who write BZ. BZ is very difficult to understand. It means literally the province of Bolzano, but you will never know whether it's a town of Bolzano, which probably it is, or another town. Okay, so for open answer questions, be prepared for reading whatever. In SPSS, there is the possibility to insert text, so textual data. However, I strongly discourage you, because with textual data you can perform almost no statistical analysis. Even you cannot use them as categories. Let's go to B, year of birth. This is a single closed, no. It's still an open question, an open answer question. The answer is open. The user may really write whatever he likes here. In fact, somebody writes the entire date of birth, not only the year. Okay. Somebody writes the year with 2 digits. Other people correctly write the year with 4 digits. The only difference here with here is that here you are strongly led to write down numbers. Okay, so be prepared for people writing 2 numbers, which must be converted to 4. Okay. Also be prepared here with people writing nonsense things. There are people who write nothing, so nothing at all, and there are people writing silly things like 1573. Okay. What to do with these people? So while for the other people it's pretty straightforward, you will create a variable, while here this is the variable town, this is the variable year, you will create a variable 1983, 1989, 1992, 1989, 1992. If somebody writes 1573, or if somebody leaves it blank, or if somebody writes something incomprehensible, here it's your task to convert it to the so-called missing. So you should be prepared in cases like this to have a value which corresponds to missing. Traditionally, well, in SPSS you can leave it blank, but I prefer that you use a specific value. Traditionally this value is something as 9999, so something which clearly is not one of the allowed value. You will use it as a missing value. It will indicate that the user did not want to answer, was unable to answer, or answer something wrongly. So a missing value. We will learn how to tell to SPSS what is a missing value and what is not. Obviously, you must tell SPSS that 9999 is a missing value and should be omitted from the analysis. Otherwise, when you calculate the average, you can see it's 3990. Okay, let's go on with the other question. When did you start first year of elementary school? This is another open question, but with only open answer question, but with only a numerical answer. Here you receive strong indication that you should type day, month, year. Okay. So it's a strong indication. Also here, you could have people skipping it, for example, because they don't remember it, or people who understand wrong things, writing, for example, month, day, year. Okay. In this case, you can adjust it yourself, or people who don't want to answer, who answer silly things, not coherent with the year of birth. Okay. For this question, however, I suggest you to split the answer into 3 different answers. One answer the day, another answer the month, another answer the year. It will be much easier to handle. Especially, it will be easier to handle all those people who remember the year but don't remember the month. If a person, don't remember the day. If a person remembers the year, remembers the month, but doesn't remember the day, well, officially it's a missing datum because this person was unable to answer question C. If you instead split the answer, you can leave the question like this in the questionnaire, but split the answer into 3 parts. So, day, month, year, elementary. Okay, you are free to set, for example, day missing, month September, year 1983, so 1989. Okay. In this case, I have used 99 to indicate a missing day. Since days go from 1 to 31, 99 is a good missing day. It's a day which doesn't exist. If a person doesn't remember the day and doesn't remember the month, I will use 99 also as a missing month. It is 1989, so 1995. Okay. If a person doesn't remember anything, I will write something like this. So usually I use as missing value the top possible value if it is a value that it's not a variable as an answer. Okay, now we leave the open answer, or no, there is another open answer. How many exams have you already passed? This is identical to year of birth from a technical point of view. The user must type a number. Let's say between 0 and 98. I would reserve 99 as a missing datum. If you are afraid that somebody may have passed more than 98 exams, you could leave a possibility for between 0 and 998 and leave 999 as a missing value. Okay, so remember you should always leave one possible value as a missing value. Okay, to take into account the possibility that people misanswer your question. Let's open for a while SPSS to look at the data that your colleagues from previous years answers. This should be the data. Okay, it is the town. I did not record, I kept it in a textual format, but I took all the Bolzano and changed them to Bolzano. I took all the South Tyrolean name in Italian and converted them in German to have them identical. Year of birth, let's see. Okay, there is a missing here. This person didn't want to tell it to me. There are some year of birth which seem very strange to me, like the beginning of the 20th century, which are very strange to me. Day of elementary, you can see there are a lot of missing here. Month, also a lot of missing. Many people instead remember the year. There are some years which I have a rather doubt. 1964, 1970, it can be. Let's see. 1968, 74, it can be. Okay. Number of exams. Nobody passed more than, there's a 99, but it's a missing value. Nobody passed more than 40 exams. Okay. Question E. It is the first closed answer question. It's closed answer because the user is not allowed to answer anything, but must choose one of these 5 possibilities. How do you grade this university? Very low, low, average, good, very good. So it's closed. The user may only answer one of these 5 numbers, or the user may not answer, or may answer wrongly, for example, crossing 2 numbers. Okay. If the user doesn't answer anything or answer wrongly, it's clearly a missing value, and we'll mark it with 9. If the user answers one of these, we'll mark it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to emphasize the fact that in this question, the number is not a number, so doesn't have any real numerical meaning, while for question D, the number has a full numerical meaning. If you pass 20 exams, you have passed double exam with respect to a person who has passed 10 exams. Okay. So it's a full numerical meaning. Here, if you grade the university good, You are not grading the university twice as better as somebody who grades it low. Because it's subjective, the difference between very low, low, low to average, average to good, and good to very good. It's a fully subjective difference. So the user is not aware of the numbers. In this case, you don't have a numerical meaning to this variable. The numbers simply reflect an order. Okay, so they reflect that there is an order. Everybody understands that low is below average and average is below good, but the numbers do not reflect anything else. Okay, so this is a variable which is called ordinal, while this is a variable which is called scale. So this variable reflects that there is a scale, so there is a mathematical meaning behind. Here there is only an order meaning behind, so there is an ordinal variable. Sex. Another close answer question. It's rather clear, either male or female. There is no order here. Okay. No numerical meaning, no order. Obviously, also here there are people who write everything else, so they cross both sexes. In this case, missing. Or here, I discourage you from using M and F. For SPSS, it's much better to code them. As you can see here, I coded them with 1 and 0. Traditionally, 0 is male and 1 is female. But you can choose your favorite numbers. You can see there are people who have a code of... nobody has a code of 9. So all the people answer to the question sex. Otherwise, if somebody doesn't want to answer, or is not able to answer, we will write it as 9, which means missing. G. Which of these is your favorite subject? This, from a technical point of view, is identical to F. The user should answer only one answer. Okay. There is no numerical meaning, no ordinal meaning. Okay. We will assign, for example, to statistics value 1, to computer science value 2, economics value 3, marketing 4, accounting 5, and law 6. In SPSS, since SPSS is a very old program, it's a program which likes using numbers rather than letters. Okay. So, as you can see here, 2, 3, 9, this person is missing, 5, 5, 6, 3, 5, 2, 5, 6. Okay, so it's much better for SPSS if you use numbers rather than letters. So, first of all, because with a number it's very difficult to commit a mistake. If you type marketing without a K, it will be a different marketing with respect to marketing. Second reason, it's much faster to type numbers. And third reason, SPSS will prefers it, and so we must adapt ourselves. You will see, however, that there is a way to display the letters. So you will write 1, but you will see statistics written. For question G, there is also a 7th possibility. The 7th possibility is a person who doesn't answer anything. It's a legitimate answer. While a person must be male or female, unless strange cases, a person here may not have a favorite subject among this one. Okay. So if a person's favorite subject is finance, it's not among this list. And in this case, the person does not answer. So we have to reserve also number 7 for people who do not answer. And I would reserve number 9 for people who really answer wrongly or incomprehensible things. Question H. While question H looks perfectly like question G, it's completely different because question G is a single answer. Question H is a multiple answer. So for question H, the user may answer several things. For SPSS and for coding this question in general, it makes a huge difference. It's one of the most frequently errors in the exam. So pay attention. Question G and question H have two completely different ways of being coded. Question G is coded straightforward with one variable, values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you want 7, 9. Question H is coded in a completely different way. Question H, there is no possibility for you to code it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because if a person has answered has passed statistics and banking, what would you write? You should write 1 and 3. It's not structured. So question H is, in practice, a set of questions. Have you passed statistics? Question mark. Have you passed marketing? Question mark. Have you passed banking? Question mark. Have you passed decision theory? Question mark. So it's written as a single question, but in practice, question H is 6 different questions to which the user would answer with yes or no. Okay. So, as you can see here in SPSS, I wrote stat, which means have you statistic A passed, marketing A passed, banking A passed, decision theory passed, commercial O passed, and commercial O B passed. Okay, with a 0, which means no, and a 1, which means yes. This also is a tradition of statistical research. 0 means no, and 1 means yes. Okay, it's also the computer science typical usage. 0, no, 1, yes. So, you can see I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different variables. Okay, I have not used a single variable, but 6 different variables. It makes a huge difference. Each one with a possible answer no or yes. There is also, let's see, no, nobody has a missing value. Theoretically, you could have missing values here, because if I make a little sign and you are not sure whether it's a cross or not, it is a missing value. Okay. Or if I cross but then write strange comments here, it should be a missing value. Okay, so pay attention. Multiple answer questions must use one variable for each possible answer. There is no other way. Which is your degree course? Again, this is a single answer. You should answer only one degree course. Okay, so it's rather straightforward. You use 1 for economics and management, 2 for this one, 3 for this one, 4 for this one. Okay. Unfortunately, this question has also the other please specify, which is really a tragedy in statistical questionnaires. Because the user typically crosses something here and then writes something else here. The only way to deal with this kind of question is to use it as a standard question up to here, or better, up to here. So, 1 economics and management, 2 economics and management older, 3, 4, 5 other. Okay. And this is a question, as you can see, I have used here. Degree course. Okay. And then, in case the user would like to write something here, you reserve a textual variable here, okay, where you will see people write something here. Okay. It's not a good idea. Usually, if many people write something here, it's a failure of your questionnaire. So it means that your questionnaire was not well done. Okay. For example, my questionnaire was not well done because many people wrote business studies here. It means that I have forgotten the business to specify business studies among these things here. Okay. So, usually this should be avoided. If you want to put it, remember that you need a separate variable to place it. And then you will need to manually analyze the separate variable. Similar thing here. Which sport activities, plural, do you practice at least once a month? Running, swimming, diving, skiing, football, basketball, volleyball. Other, please specify. This is a multiple answer question. So like H. So it corresponds to ask, do you run, Do you swim? Do you dive? Do you ski? Do you play football? Okay. And so you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 variable plus another variable for is there any other activity? Okay. And another variable for which other activity. As you can see here, I have 7 variables plus, I have not put the variables for other, okay, and I have put the variable for what the user has typed into other. Okay, usually questions like this are a total disaster if you really need this other please specify, because it's already complicated to be coded. If you add the additional effort to have an other please specify field, it's really chaotic. Okay? I think I want to underline, usually when the answer is a single one, the symbol is the circle. Okay? When the answer is a multiple one, the symbol is not a circle, but traditionally it's, the square, not the filled one, but the empty one. Define new bullet, symbol. Okay, this one can go. Okay. Also here. Okay, so usually many questionnaires, the circle represents a single answer, the square represents a multiple answer, but don't give it for granted. Do you live with other students? Yes, no. Well, it is rather straightforward. It's like sex. Okay, yes, no. Clearly, also here you should reserve a 9 for missing in case the person doesn't answer or write strange things. Okay. And this is a question deliberately built in a wrong and not comprehensible way. What do you think of your actual apartment mates? I inserted it for the people who are planning to do a thesis with a questionnaire to emphasize the importance of clear questions. When I was thinking of this question, I was referring only to the people who live with other students. So I was thinking the people who live with other students would answer to this question. The people who don't live with other students will not answer. But I have noted that many people who do not live with other students, but instead live with the parents or with the husband, the wife, do answer to this question, and usually they answer, I love them, okay, or I hate them. So, this question is badly written, really badly written, especially if you put it after question K. You should clearly specify whether you refer to your student mates, and so only the people who answer yes should answer, or to anybody living in the house. Okay? And so in this case, everybody is free to answer. Okay, so it's to teach you, don't write questions like this, spend a little more words, or write something like, only people who answer yes to question K must answer to this question. Okay? Pay attention to how do you formulate your question, because it's very easy to be misunderstood. Well, the answer is rather straightforward. It's identical to question E. Okay? Here it's much more emphasized the fact that between 1 and 2 there is nothing numeric, while here a person may claim that between very low and low there is a distance of 1, and between low and average another distance of 1. Here I would not say that between I hate them and useful there is a distance of 1, and here another distance of 1. These are all subjective opinions, and so there is nothing numeric. There is only a clear order. Okay? It's evident to everybody the order. Nobody will say that I hate them comes after really nice people. Okay? So this is another ordinal variable. So variable until now have 3 different types. The ordinal variable, the one which have only an order. The scale variable, the one which have a fully mathematical meaning. Okay? And the nominal variable, the one which don't have any numerical and any ordinal meaning. Okay? Nominal variable. So 3 different type of variables. Scale ones, which have here scale, ordinal, nominal. So scale one, which have a fully numerical meaning. This one, for example, also the year of birth. Variable which have an order. This one, this one. Variable which have only a nominal meaning. So you just name the things you like here, or you name the master you're doing, or you name whether you're skiing, yes, no. Okay. Nominal variable have the feature that they divide your sample into categories. For example, variable skiing, it's nominal because it divides your sample between the people who practice skiing and the people who don't. Variable g is nominal because it divides your sample into 6 subsets: the people who like statistics, the people who like computer science, the people who like economics, the people who like marketing, or better, 7 subsets: the people who like accounting, law, and the people who don't like any of the preceding subjects. Okay, so nominal variables have also traditional feature that they divide your sample into categories. In fact, many times they are called categorical variables, and I will also call them categorical variables because I will mistakenly call them in that way. How many days a week do you usually come to university during exam month? This is another example of a badly formulated question. Or better, the question is officially well formulated, but it's really contorted to be read. Okay, you should think what is it saying. Week, month, usually days, day, week, month. Okay, so, but the answer is rather obvious. You should answer a number between 0 and 7. Okay. Some people write things as 4.5. Okay. They say something between 4 and 5. Or 4/5. Okay. So you should be prepared here to have a numerical answer, including decimal digits. Because there are people who use 1 or even 2 decimal digits. There are people who write 3 1/4. So in this case, 3.25. Okay, this is a scale variable. It has a fully numerical meaning. Okay, the overview on the questionnaire and on the typical things, a typical way to code variable ends here. Okay, we have seen all the possible answers: open, single close, multiple close, and single or multiple with other, please specify. I personally dislike a lot this one, but in many cases it's necessary. We have seen that variables can be in text, date, and numeric, but usually SPSS dislikes text, so even if you have a text variable, try to convert it into numeric, assigning numbers to the typical answers. And also in many cases, if you have a date variable and you have people who don't remember the day but remember the year, it would be better to convert it into a 3 numerical variable. And we have seen the variable measures: scale, ordinal, and nominal. Especially we have seen the missing value. Usually you reserve the last possible value, or better, a value which is theoretically possible but in practice not possible. You reserve it for the people who don't answer, don't want to answer, or are not able to answer correctly. Okay. We stop here.